The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, show number 671. Welcome to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. I am Mark Gunn. I am a Celtic musician and podcaster, and this podcast is for fans of Celtic music. My goal is to build a diverse Celtic community and help the incredible artists who so generously share their music with you each and every week. If you hear music you love, please email the artists. Let them know you heard them on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. That reinforces that this is a helpful show for them. So it's a good way to support the podcast for free. Musicians depend on your generosity to keep making music, though, so please find a way to support them. Buy a CD, album pen, shirt, digital download, or join their community on Patreon. Just like this podcast has a Patreon page, many of these artists do as well. You can find a link to all the artists in the show notes along with showtimes when you visit our website at CelticMusicPodcast.com. Irish Fest Atlanta takes place November 8th through 10th, 2024 with headliners Cherish the Ladies and the Friel Sisters. You can grab tickets to watch these concerts and enjoy tons of other great entertainment. Go to irishfestatlanta.org for details. Irish Fest Atlanta offers ticketed events and free programming for the public, which includes traditional Irish music, song, dance, language, sports, films, workshops in music, dance, and language, a traditional Irish tea, whiskey tasting, and an Irish bread making competition. There's free family events, including an Irish dance, a ceilidh, arts and crafts, and sports. Again, it's all at irishfestatlanta.org. Remember also, it is still plastic-free July. You can join by refusing to use single-use plastics. Like when you go to the grocery store, bring your own bag. In fact, if you're looking for a bag, you can find some in our store. I released a new compilation CD last week. It is called Celtic on the Inside. This is officially released. It was funded on Kickstarter back at the beginning of the year, but now it is officially available for sale. The album features 14 tracks by some of the best Celtic artists of 2023. It's a really great album. You can buy all these tracks as well as the others that were part of the Celtic, show number 641, Celtic Top 20 of 2023. In fact, I'd recommend that you buy those too. But there's another reason why you should support the album, whether on CD or as an album pen, and that is memories. The music business is a really strange new world. Right now, you can stream all this, most of this music, I should say, on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and a zillion other places. But how long will they be around? I still remember like the days of mp3.com and MySpace and LiveJournal. They're all gone. I got an email not too long ago, someone asking about a band that was disappeared 5 years ago. Now, of course, I always encourage you to support the artists, but if you want to preserve the memory of 2023's great music, then I recommend you get a copy of this album. You can get a CD or an album pen. CD, of course, you know, and I know many of you, including myself, we don't use CDs anymore. However, an album pen is a great alternative because you get a digital download of the album and you get to wear your album. Basically, you can put it on your sleeve, on your shirt, on your hat, on your jacket. You can post it on a special display on the wall, whatever. It's a great way to preserve the memories of it, and you'll get the digital album so you can listen to it over and over again. Well, I have no plans of going anywhere anytime soon. Same thing with this podcast. There's over 600 episodes, but what happens tomorrow? Let's say that I drop dead and the podcast is no longer available. You lose all that music. So please consider supporting this podcast by buying a CD or an album pen today. Yes, the money does go back to support the podcast as well. I mentioned that there was a shortfall recently, and this will also help make up some of that shortfall. In any case, thank you so much for all your support of the podcast. We kicked off the show with The Captain by Hanneke Cassel from Dot the Dragon's Eyes. Next up is Old Blind Dogs with Sweet Bretonne from Knucklehead Circus.
and the glare, see her long auburn hair as she strides through the fair in her gown. In the flickering light she's a beautiful sight, and she captures the talk of the town. She's in search of a man with a smooth sleight of hand. She will claim whom she can with a wink, and you cannot resist with a word or a fist. Once you're magically kissed you will sink. Between moonbeams you can see her when the night wind drifts and blows. Between moonbeams you can love her while the fire softly blows. Well, the men push and shove are blinded with love, each one hoping he'll get a chance. They forget what they know when she puts on a show. Now watch them all circle and dance, and the women will glare as the men start to stare at that glamorous snare all the while. Her men never return, and it's whispered she'll burn, but for now watch her turn, see her style. Between moonbeams you can see her when the night wind drifts and blows. Between moonbeams you can love her while the fire softly blows. Well, the locals all tell of the girl from the dell who only is seen once a year. She comes down from the wood and she's up to no good. You can see in old faces the fear. When the dancing is done and the dawn marching on, and the fire and the moon burning low, she is gone with the man last seen hand in hand, spellbound for where we'll never know. Between moonbeams you can see her when the night wind drifts and blows. Between moonbeams you can love her while the fire softly glows.
I walked out one May morning betide. I met a maid from home at stray, just as the sun did rise. What makes you rise so soon, my dear? Your journey to pursue. Your nimble feet, they tread so sweet, strike up the morning dew. I'm going to feed my father's flock, his young and tender lambs, that over hill and over dale lie waiting for their dam. Oh stay, you handsome maid, and rest a moment here, for there is none but you alone that I do love so dear.
After Old Blind Dogs came Wylde Nept with Between Moonbeams from All's Fair, then Conor Mallon with 144 from Unearthed, then finish up the set with Searching for Lambs by Tarren from their album Revel. I want your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the podcast? Email me. I'd love to see a picture of what you're doing while listening, or of a band you saw recently. You can also let me know how you are listening, whether it's apps like Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Pocket Cast, my favorite, Overcast. Send me an email, follow at bestcelticmusic.net. Just let's chat a little bit here. Margaret and Bill Sneeden emailed a photo from Connecticut. Hi, Mark. Enjoying your podcast aboard our sailboat, Isle of Skye. Docked today at Pilot's Point in Westbrook, Connecticut. That sounds like a lot of fun, Margaret. Thank y'all so much for sharing that picture, and I look forward to seeing more from your boating travels. That sounds great. Peter Wood replied to a post on Facebook. So I'm sitting here listening to the podcast on Pocket Cast, as I have for years, and I hear that Podcast Addict, Amazon Music, and Patreon are the only Android apps you can listen to the show on. There's still an RSS feed easily linked on the website, so any non-cloud-based podcatcher should be able to subscribe. I recently installed AntennaPod because I'm considering moving from Pocket Cast, and I see this show among my imported subscriptions like any other. So yes, the podcast is available. Well, there is an RSS feed that you can put into any podcatcher that you want. So makes it nice and easy. Obviously, so I think my top favorites are Podcast Addict, Amazon Music, and Patreon, of course, because Patreon is their own app. Actually, Patreon makes it really easy, too, because you can listen to the show and vote for the show all in the same app. Vote for your favorite songs in the show, so it's really great for that. I've talked a little bit about YouTube Music, how, Google Podcasts closed down, but YouTube Music works. The problem is I decided to test to see what's going on with that feed, and some of the episodes are being released. It turns out that some episodes are blocked on YouTube. Those episodes will not be in the YouTube Music feed, and it seems like most of them end up that way. However, not all. There's a whole bunch of episodes that are actually available. Now, I'd get permission directly from each of the artists to play their music on this podcast. And technically speaking, I could go over to YouTube and tell them for each and every song that I have permission to play their music on the podcast. The problem is that it's time prohibitive. And so that's one of the reasons why it is not my favorite. But again, there's some really good ones. Podcast Addict and Amazon Music are great for Android. And of course, if you're on Apple Podcasts, is fantastic as well. And Overcast, which is also on Apple. And I love Overcast. That's the one I listen to most all of my podcasts on. So go check those out. Thank you so much for sharing, Peter. Good luck in your transfer to a new feed. And yes, make sure you use that CelticMusicPodcast.com/RSS, which should insert into any podcatcher. Finally, Corey Fitch emailed, "Hi Mark, I've been listening to your podcast for the past year or so, and it's been keeping me great company on my drive to work. We had a big family celebration last year. It was our 250th anniversary on our small family farm in New Hampshire. My kids are the 10th generation living on the farm. For musical entertainment, we had the Jordan TW trio led by Jordan Tyrell Wysocki, and they were absolutely fantastic. Everyone was up dancing, and they ended the night with a beautiful a cappella Parting Glass. I haven't heard them on the podcast yet, so I figured I would plug them to get them on rotation. Thank you for everything you do." Thanks so much, Corey. No, I haven't heard of the Jordan TW trio. I will drop them an email and see if I can get them on the show. I did see a couple pictures from Mitchell Peterson. He is our engineer, and he and his wife were at the Grandfather Mountain Highland Games, week or two ago, and so I was highly jealous of them. They haven't sent any pictures yet, but since he's listening to this right now, he's probably I'm hoping he's emailing the pictures to me so I can put them in the show. Hint, hint, Mitchell. Keep sharing those pictures. He and his wife also are playing music now and seem to be doing a little bit more here and there, so maybe they'll have some music for the show. Hint, hint, Mitchell. Okay, let's get on to the next set. Next up is Ironwood with Lovelace from Gretna Green. Oh, so before we go on with Ironwood, Gretna Green is a little town just on the border of Scotland and England. I can't tell if it's Scotland. I think it is in Scotland, but I'm not entirely positive. But I found it because I was doing research for my Celtic invasion of the whiskey of Scotland, and I want to head down to the borderlands, but I'm trying to see if I can make it down there. And I was like, what is Gretna Green? Or who is Gretna Green is what I was saying before this past weekend when I started working on that. But now I know Gretna Green is a town, or I think there's the town is called Gretna. I'm not entirely sure of the specifics, but fascinating things you learn while you're researching stuff.
like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad who's born to be king, over the sea to Skye. Loud the winds howl, loud the waves roar, thunderclaps rend the air. Baffled our foes stand on the shore, follow they will not dare. Speed, bonny boat, like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad who's born to be king, over the sea to Skye. Though the waves leap, soft shall he sleep, ocean's a royal bed. Rocked in the deep, Flora will keep watch by your weary head. Speed, bonny boat, like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad who's born to be king, over the sea to Skye. Many's the lad fought on that day, well the claymore could wield. When the night came, silently lay dead on Culloden's field. Speed, bonny boat, like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad who's born to be king, over the sea to Skye. Burned are our homes, exile and death scatter the loyal men. Yet ere the sword cools in the sheath, Charlie will rise again. Speed, bonny boat, like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad who's born to be king, over the sea to Skye.
Japan, they have a great tradition. But I'm a man who gets burritos in the mission. I get my traffic on the bridge, my hippies in the hate, my rainbow in the Castro, my golden in the gate. But when the people came to get the gold from far to here, well, they always quench their thirst with a glass of steam beer. So save us, Fritz, why'd they be so mean to leave the San Francisco and take away the steam? Save us, Fritz, why'd they be so mean to leave the San Francisco and take away the steam? Oh, steam beer, from old Potrero out to the pier. I guess we'll have to drink our tears. 1896 to 1965, Mr. Fritz kept the dream of steam alive.
Open fermentation
And giant copper kettles.
They don't make them like that.
And so the matter's settled because the world loves a West Coast IPA. And the very first one, it was Anchor Liberté. Save us, Fritz, why'd they be so mean to leave the San Francisco and take away the steam? Save us, Fritz, why'd they be so mean to leave the San Francisco and take away the steam? Oh, steam beer, from old Potrero out to the pier. I guess we'll have to drink our tears. Here's to San Francisco in the olden times.
Anchor, porter,
when men were men.
never mind your lager.
It's stout time again.
Christmas ale for 49 years.
Is it really Christmas without an Anchor beer?
I don't think so.
Oh, steam beer, from old Potrero out to the pier. I guess we'll have to drink our steam beer, from old Potrero out to the pier. I guess we'll have to drink our tears. I guess we'll have to drink our tears.
After Ironwood came Jesse Ferguson with Skye Boat Song from the Bard of Cornwall, then Liam's Lullaby by Runa from their newest album, When the Light Gets In, and we finish up the set with CaliCeltic with Steam Beer from their album, Whiskey Mustache. Thank you so much, patrons of the podcast. It is because of your generosity that this show comes out each and every week, or most every week, I guess. Your kindness pays for our engineer, graphic designer, Celtic Music Magazine editor, promotion of the podcast, and allows me to buy the music I play here. It also pays for my time in creating the show each and every week. As a patron, you get ad-free and music-only episodes before regular listeners. You get to vote in the Celtic Top 20. You get standalone stories. There's actually a whole bunch of free music that you can download. You also get a private feed to listen to the show, or you can listen through the Patreon app, all for as little as $1 per episode. Special thanks to our Celtic legends. These folks pledge $25 or more per month to support this podcast. They're invaluable, so thank you so much for supporting the show. Big thanks to Bruce, Brian McReynolds, Marty Myers, Brenda, Alan Schindler, Karen D.M. Harris, Emma Bartholomew, Dan McDade, Miranda Nelson, Nancy Barnett, Kevin Long, Gary R. Hook, Linda McNeil, Kelly Garrod, Annie Lorkowski, and Sean Callie. Thank you all so much for supporting the podcast. It makes such a big difference in the success of this show, so thank you. Here is your 3-step plan to support the podcast. Number 1, go to our Patreon page. Number 2, decide how much you want to pledge every week. $1, $5, $10, $25, $27. You can name any price, basically, but make sure you cap how much you want to spend per month. Number 3, keep listening to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast to celebrate Celtic culture through music. You can become a generous patron of the podcast on Patreon at songhenge.com. The Town Pants are up next with Something to Say. It's from their same titled album.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you have to put yourself inside these losers' shoes. Nobody ever knows what someone else is going through. Why put down someone that I'll never see? Just because he doesn't see the world the same as me. Why is it so hard to be a decent human being? I got something to say. We've gotta make more time for love, less time for hate. Find a better way. Make each other stronger each and every single day. I got something to say. Always two sides that just can't get along. Neither side willing to admit they could be wrong. Things have to change, we aren't here for very long. You hate, he doesn't look like you. So then you go and do things that make him hate you too. There is no excuse for the damage that you do. I got something to say. We've gotta make more time for love, less time for hate. Find a better way. Make each other stronger each and every single day. I got something to say. Who simply cannot see. It won't make you happy to spread your misery. Bring people in, don't shut them out. Don't rant on lies and fairness and just sit around and pout. Open up your mind, see what the world is all about. I got something to say. We've got to make more time for love, less time for hate. Find a better way. Make each other stronger each and every single day. I got something to say. We've got to make more time for love, less time for hate. Find a better way. Make each other stronger each and every single day. Hey, I got something to say.
strange man beside me with his glass about half full, his pale withered face and his eyes that ground dull. Said, ain't that bad, boy, so dry up them tears, or you spend all your time drinking down salty beer. Not as young as you think, boy, nor as wise as you thought. Time slips away before you know what you got. Face turn to months and then slip into years. Don't waste your whole life crying tears in your beer. He started his story about love found and lost, his need to succeed that came at all cost. Fortune he made and then squandered away, and his beer got more salty each passing day. Family and friends that had faded to noise, a wifeful man left and taken his boys. How the sands of time just seemed to pass, like each salty drop fell into his glass. Not as young as you think, boy, nor as wise as you thought. Time slips away before you know what you got. Days turn to months and then slip into years. Don't waste your whole life crying tears in your beer. Don't try to drink your tears away, or just drink them down. Self-pity and guilt make for an easy way to drown. Move to your next journey, waste away like me. Slowly drinking my death with each mouthful of sea.
After the Town Pants came The Fire with Rip the Calico from Marigold, then Bealtaine with Tears in Your Beer from The Founder's Room Volume 2, and we finish up the set with Common Man by The Elders. It's from their old album, Wanderin' Life and Times. All right, another episode for 2024, which means there's another episode that you can vote for this year to help us create this year's Best Celtic Music of 2024 episode. You have 3 weeks to vote for the songs in this episode. Vote for as many as you like. We will compile all those, and then we're going to create a highlight reel exclusively for patrons featuring some of this amazing music. We're going to finish up the show with an uplifting, heartfelt song from Vicki, Swan, and Jonny Dyer. This is called We Are Friends. It's from their album Paper of Pins. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining me once again to celebrate Celtic music with each other. I just love having you here, and I love being here, and I love sharing with you. So thank you so very much. Thanks for being a friend. Here is Vicki, Swan, and Jonny Dyer. Sláinte.
As I was walking down the road just at the break of day, I found myself beside you. We were traveling the same way. We shared a drink, a joke or two, and a story by and by. And we found as we were walking, we were friends, you and I. We were friends, you and I. And we found as we were walking, we were friends, you and I. I've seen the dark clouds gathering and the rain come crashing down. The road ahead so dark and cold, the paths are hard to find. But we stood strong together, arm in arm and side by side. And we knew that we could make it. We were friends, you and I. We were friends, you and I. And we knew that we could make it. We were friends, you and I. Loved ones, they grew old and tired, and one by one they've gone. It left me feeling desolate and oh, so much alone. You stood and watched so helplessly as I could only cry. But you were always with me. We were friends, you and I. We were you and I, but you were always with me. We were friends, you and I. So now the sun begins to set and the evening air grows cold. We sit down in the fading light, swapping memories of old. Share a drink, a song or two, and a story by and by. And we know beyond all knowing we are friends, you and I. We are friends, you
The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast is produced by Mark Gunn, the Celt Father, and our patrons on Patreon. The show is edited by Mitchell Peterson with graphics by Miranda Nelson Designs. Visit our website to follow the show. You'll find links to all of the artists played in this episode. Todd Wiley is the editor of the Celtic Music Magazine. Subscribe to get 34 Celtic MP3s for free. Plus, you'll get 7 weekly news items about what's happening with Celtic music and culture online. Best of all, you will connect with your Celtic heritage. Please tell one friend about this podcast. Word of mouth is the absolute best way to support any creative endeavor. And remember to reduce, reuse, recycle, and think about how you can make a positive impact on climate change. Promote Celtic culture through music at CelticMusicPodcast.com.